So, thank you for Boriss for joining me this interview, this very unconventional interview. And
Yes.
let me introduce Boriss. He's a holistic system software engineer. So
That's correct.
that's even more original than mine. So yes,
I'm not
please.
sure. I'm not sure. Now, so the reason why I think that suits well what I do is that at the beginning I kind of defined myself as a software engineer. Then I did a lot of operations. So I did a lot of system engineering, and then I started doing both. And then so hence system software engineer. But now I'm doing like the architectural part of views. I need to do the holistic view of the whole thing. So actually, it falls into places. I'm a holistic system software engineer.
That's amazing. Amazing. Let's start from what inspired your talk. This is a quite interesting talk. You are talking about unused data type, misunderstood data type, right?
Exactly. Yeah. ENUM. So the reason why I want to talk about ENUM, the enumerated data type, is I give training, PostgreSQL, and the material was already prepared by my colleagues when I was working in second quadrant, and I needed to learn a lot of new material that I didn't know about. And when I started to study ENUM, I realized that this was a super cool data type. It was with a lot of nice features. It works really well. It has a lot of advantages, and is simply not known by the developers, especially. And FOSDEM, I think, is the right place to start making a promotion of an evangelism of ENUM. So I think it's a very good way of bringing that fantastic data type. I call it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Well, I like a lot the ENUM as well, but what's wrong with ENUM? Why they are so
Yeah, I think
underestimated?
there are two things that are wrong with ENUM, which is not that many, which is good. You cannot remove elements from the ENUM. So this is something that it's being criticized a lot. But in this presentation, I'm going to put it kind of in perspective and to compare this how you say, this drawback with the other alternatives. And actually, when you put it in this perspective, the fact that you cannot remove it is not such a bad thing compared to the other thing. And I also show you more or less a guideline for how to do a workaround. So it's not something that you're trapped on this. There is a workaround about it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it is not known. Nobody knows about it. So that's what's wrong with ENUM. So I'm now in a mission of bringing ENUM to the developers, especially.
What do you expect from this online FOSDEM? We have been in the real life FOSDEM. This one is completely new. What do you expect from this?
I have no clue. I've been attending to FOSDEM since I moved to Belgium, and the first FOSDEM that I attended was in 2004, and I haven't missed. I think I missed one because I was sick or something. And it's been. I've seen it growing. In the beginning, I could attend to all the talks that I wanted to, and then you have to really be selective about what you want to see. And then I joined the Postgres Europe team as a volunteer, and I really focus on the Postgres devroom and the Postgres booth. So the interaction with the people, it is very, very important. And I have no idea how we are going to do that in a virtual environment. I have participated already in Postgres Build, which was a conference organized in November last year. And it went pretty well, actually. I could chat with a lot of people. So the engagement was good. But that was all Postgres people. I don't know how it's going to be with a more diverse organization where people don't know each other that well. So I hope there's going to be a place to meet new people and interact through chats and text. I mean, there is a chance, but I don't know.
Okay, so next question. How did you get involved with Postgres? What's your PostgreSQL path, your PostgreSQL story?
My first project with Postgres was in 2001, so beginning of the century. I was working together with Alvaro Herrera, which is one of the committers of Postgres now. And I really like it immediately. At the time, we were using MySQL, and when we started to work with Postgres, it was like, wow, this thing has transactions, which you didn't have in MySQL at the time. And then I couldn't work with Postgres anymore, not because I was doing something other databases, but because I decided to do research. So I did a PhD and all this stuff. But then when I was doing my research, I started to work with distributed databases. And then I came back to Postgres to understand how things were implemented in Postgres, things like two-phase commit and stuff like that. And then I said, like, wow, this is actually a really good project. So my first hobby project that I did after that was immediately with Postgres. And then I started to work with things like Alfresco, and Alfresco uses Postgres. And then I said, okay, I really, like you, I'm going to make a bet, and I'm going all 100% for Postgres. And it's been there for years now. And very good choice, not just because of the software, as you say, also the community. And now I work again with Alvaro Herrera. So I've been working with Alvaro now for more than 3 years in the same company. So it's nice. It's really nice.
Thank you. I remember you, it was last year, you posted about the carbonara, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You know, I've written the PG Carbonara extension.
I know.
Did you ever use this
Yeah, so they asked me to make a promotional video for a training, and I was supposed to say something like, yeah, meet the experts and all this stuff. But I said, okay, why not? We were starting the lockdown, and I was with my daughter, and I said, okay, my daughters. I said, let's do a fun video for my work. And then I knew about this carbonara thing that is very important for the Italians. And actually, I went to check PG Carbonara for the ingredients, because I knew that I could use bacon only if I didn't have the other one. And I said, which one was the other one? And then I have to search. Pancetta, that's it.
Guanciale.
And yeah, that one.
Is the pork chip.
Yes, exactly. And then also for the cheese, I know that it's not Parmigiano is pecorino. Pecorino. So I did use actually the PG Carbonara for inspiring the video.
And I remember you juggled the eggs, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestion for people that want to learn juggling? I play with the yo-yo. So I always wanted to learn about juggling. So can you share some?
I'm not a real juggler, but I learned from a good friend of mine, Manyungo. So Manyungo, if you're watching, this guy, he can really juggle. He played with 7, 8 balls. It's amazing. So he's the one who taught me to. I learned from him, and the interesting thing is that in the beginning, let me put myself a little bit more in the back. You start doing the typical movement with 2 balls, like passing yourself like this. But this doesn't scale. You can go to 3 balls like this. I mean, it's possible, but it's very difficult. So what you actually have to do is, instead of doing the circle, which is what you always see in movies or animations, you have to do a cascade with the 3 balls like this. So it's a different movement. So what you need to do is actually unlearn what you were trying to do with 2 balls, and then learn again to throw them both in the same direction, but in different steps. So it is interesting. I always saw juggling as a philosophy, because you have certain amount of things that you have to do, and you have to give them the right amount of time to each of them to have control. Otherwise, your whole thing falls down. And actually, now that you asked the question, for learning, it's also a good philosophy, in the sense that sometimes you get blocked by what you know, and the only way to make progress is to unlearn something and relearn it in a different way, and then you go in the right path. So that's my advice for learning to juggle. Don't do the circle thing. Try to do a cascade. So next conference, you teach me your superpower, and I will teach you how to juggle with 3 balls. Next conference.
But also we have a promise. The next FOSDEM we have to jam.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Awesome.
Next year we have to jam.
Good.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the interview. It's been amazing.